everybody, welcome back to Grab a Cup of Knit and Chat. I'm Maggie. I am here on a Monday afternoon. It is September 1st, 2025, and it's about 3:15 in the afternoon on a very sunny Labor Day here in the Willamette Valley in Oregon of the United States. Today's episode 39. And if you don't already, give it a pause, grab something cool or whatever, tea, coffee, whatever you'd like to drink, and come back and grab your knitting because I'm going to be chatting. Okay, today I don't have a whole lot to go over. I don't do admin-y stuff or anything like that. I would like to talk a little bit about knitting podcasts lately. So the first couple minutes, I'm going to do my rant, which if you've been here before, I probably do more than just the first couple minutes, but that's what I'm going to do. First of all, I want to welcome anybody who's new, welcome those who are coming back. Thank you so much. I do this just to have somebody to talk to about my knitting, if you don't know, because my partner, well, let's just say he really isn't interested in listening to my knitting, and my best friend lives in Washington, and it's kind of an 8-hour drive, so we only get one weekend a year where we can get together, where we used to get together 2 or 3 times a week. I have, I guess, what you would call a 9 to 5, only I work a job where I work 4 tens, so I'm lucky in some aspects because I have 3 days in a row off. I'm unlucky in other aspects because 12 hours out of my 24-hour day is spent traveling to and from work, along with actually working. And unless there's a meeting or something of that nature, trainings, that kind of thing going on, I don't really knit a lot. Although I plan on changing that because I do go for walks on my breaks, and I try to get, for those that don't know, I'm doing a challenge to myself of walking 1,000 miles in this year. I think in the UK it's a big thing, and I watch a lot of UK podcasters, but I'm doing it on my own. I wear a watch and I have a pedometer on my phone, and I have those with me, and I use the pedometer to measure how much I walk in a day. So I do little things like when I get up from my desk to go to, like, my desk is here, the printer is at the end of the row where I'm seated. Instead of just going out and straight to the printer, I go out and I walk all the way around to the printer, and then I come all the way back. Or sometimes I'll walk all the way around and just make a circle. Little things like that, and there's a little spot where I walk. I usually can get 4 to 4.5 miles a day, which is good for me. I usually take the weekends off unless we go somewhere like the mountains to go mushroom picking, or we go to the beach, or to go clam hunting, or I just decide to go and take a hike. This weekend, I got a 4-day weekend because today in the US is a holiday. And I had grand plans and didn't do anything except for sit and knit all weekend. So I suppose that that's exactly what I needed for this moment in my life. But all that being said, that to incorporate some extra knitting into my day, I like to knit and walk. So I think I'm going to have a pair of socks on the needles at all times just for the knit and walk aspect of my day, or my walks at work. And then I wouldn't have to worry about getting more knitting time, because I pretty much just sit and knit whenever I'm at home in the evenings. I come home and knit. But I don't have a lot of finished objects. I kind of went on a ramble and I kind of lost my train of thought. I'm wearing a kerchief that I made. It's crocheted. It's just hangs down in the back. It's just a triangle. Instead of doing a tie for it, I just single crochet it together and do a single crochet around the edge so that it's together, and I just put it on and I put it in with a couple bobby pins. This is just some cotton. I like to wear them around the house sometimes. I like to wear them out. I pretty much have thick hair and wear my hair up all the time, so it's kind of something different. Finished object. I have this cute little hat right here. It's still a little damp. It's made with cotton, so it's a little bit damp. Let me put my glasses on and I can tell you a little more about it. On August the 29th, I started the Sea Monkey Baby Hat, and that's by Kelly McClure, and it is a free pattern on Ravelry. And I knitted up in the size 6 to 12 months using Fibra Natura Bright Red Cotton True Sport. I held that double using a size 8 needle. It's just a straightforward, you can choose from 3 different brims. It has this cute little detail that gives it ears, and it's just a seamless, just square design. So I said I started that on August the 29th. I finished it on August the 30th. I think that was, I started it Friday, I finished it Saturday. It's a really quick knit. It's big needles. You just use regular cotton or acrylic or whatever it is that you want to use. The Fibra Natura was, I have the label here. That's what it is. Give me time. It says that it's a size 2 fine, and the pattern's written for a cotton, like a regular cotton. It even says in there dishcloth cotton or something like that. So I'm assuming that they're meaning a size 4, which is what, a worsted weight type cotton, that would be sugar and cream, that kind of thing. I had this, and this is a mercerized cotton. Well, it's 100% Pima cotton, and this came in a 50-gram skein, 197 yards, and I have some left, and I held it double. I have probably about, I weighed it, I didn't write it down, but I think it was like 20 grams left. Maybe 10 or 20 grams left. So there you go. It did bleed. I did have to soak it a couple of times. I do use color catchers from Shout. Here in America, it's these little sheets that you can throw in with things that the color may bleed. And I did it just, I usually do it on the first time I make anything. I don't care where I get the yarn. If I've made something, I'll use a color catcher the first time I wash it just to see. And the color catcher was full, the water was still full of red. So I did it again, and the third time I did it, I did a little bit of vinegar in some hot water with a color catcher, and it still had a little red in it the third time, but we'll see. Anyway, I just really wanted a quick knit, something that I could do. I needed that quick satisfaction, I guess you could say. I had seen it on Knitting Posse. They're making, one of the ladies on there, I don't know which one has what name. I watch them, but I can't keep up with who's who name wise. But one of them's making those, and a macaroon sweater. It's another free pattern on Ravelry, and it's really cute. What else? That's it that's been finished. I can't keep up with everything. On my needles. Let's do what's on my needles. This one right here. Let's start with this. I started this. Let's see, what's it called? Haruno Cardigan by Shamiz. I am butchering names. I am so sorry. I'm not good at pronouncing names. Let's see. I don't ever print out the picture part of my patterns. I do that for a reason though. It's because it just takes so much ink, and I don't need the picture of what I'm making. I just want the Haruno Cardigan is what it's got. I just want the item. I don't really need the picture on my pattern, so I just print out what's needed. It's a $7 pattern. It's by Shamizu. There it is right there. I like the detail at the bottom. If you tap on the picture, you can blow it up. There it is. That's it right there. And right now I am at the raglan increases are in like 4-row repeat. And this is hard to see, but I put it on, try it on tubing, and it's still on the needle. But I am 8 rows away from the raglan, from stopping the raglan increase. Let's turn it around. Maybe you can see it a little bit more. But that's it. They're not pretty. Let's put it that way. But you know what? I'm not here to win a competition for pretty. I'm here to enjoy. I'm keeping it in this basket I'm taking it up and downstairs as I go. I am using this yarn. It's Yadan Marine. It says it's worsted wool thread. I can't remember where I got it. I got a whole bunch of it from somewhere. It doesn't even have a color number on it. It's 95% wool, 5% polyester, and it's 50 grams. It says anti-pilling and non-fading, but it does peel as you're working with it. It's kind of not really peel, it's fuzzy and it's splitty, but it's really soft. And I got a whole bag of it, and this is my third ball, and I'm almost ready to split for the body. So I'm doing it out of this, and then where the pattern has the bump where it goes into the pattern part, the rib lacework part, it's going to be all brown up at the top, and then this right here is going to be done in this. I didn't have enough to do the top in the color pattern. This is Pigment and Ply. It's called Cordwainers and Claymakers. It's 75% merino, 25% nylon. I only have the one skein, but isn't it gorgeous? That's more true to color. I got this while I was at Flock. I wanted to use it in something special, and I'm using it in that. So it's going to be different color, but that's what I'm doing there. I'm doing a size 7. Yes, a size 7. Her sizes go up to, I think it's a size 9, and the size 7 is, I dropped the pattern a couple of times. Let's see. Around a 58-inch chest. So that's that. I'm working on that off and on. Today I'm doing a little bit of a back and forth because I got stuck doing one thing yesterday, and then I just spent all evening doing that one thing. I get so sidetracked. I'm so sorry. For those that don't know, I do not edit my videos. You are getting me just like we're sitting here in my craft room, having a chat, having something to drink, and talking about our knitting. So that's the Haruno Cardigan. And oh, I did look up that Yadan Marine. I think it's color 212 on there, but I'm not sure where I got it. I think I might have gotten it somewhere online. Anyway, the next thing that I've been working on that I've made progress, I'm only showing things that I've made progress on, not all my other whips. If you're new here, I have 20 some odd whips, and no, I do not work on all of them at the same time. Yes, I probably need to go through them and frog some of them. And have I done that? No. Do I care that they're sitting there at the moment? No. and I still pick up new things. So the new thing that I picked up was yesterday on August 31st. I decided that I was going to do the Painting Honeycombs shawl by Stephen West. I'm not a shawl person, but I really like this. I should have it pulled up already, and I don't. Let's see if I can find the photo that made me want to do it. I kind of like this photo here. That's what it looks like. The Painting Honeycombs. And honestly, when you get the pattern, I'm doing the small. The pattern has the small and the large, I believe. Um, it's like €7, or it comes as part of a collection. He has a whole collection of painting honeycombs. Um, I am doing it in so many different colors. There it is. That's what I have so far. This is what kept me up late last night. Good thing I didn't have to go to work today because I just knit, knit, knit. It is so fun, and when you stretch it out, that's what makes it the honeycomb shape. The small and large part is the honeycomb size. This is the small size, and then the large is just larger honeycombs. Isn't that cute? That's a little progress keeper I got last year. And look at the back. I mean, I did several rounds and then did my ends, and I'm trying to do the weave and Steven, which is recommended, but I'll do the weave and Steven, and then I weave my ends in with the tapestry needle afterwards. So all of these different colors were in my stash. Everything was in my stash. This right here, where's the label, is my main color, and it is Cascade Heritage color 5654, which is to me just a really pretty tealy green. I loved the dark moody color. I'm just gonna show my basket full of colors because the majority of these do not even have labels. About the only ones, I mean, this is just, I can tell you some of them, but the majority of them don't even have labels. There are mini skeins and one skeins that are single skeins and some mini skeins. There's 15 different colors here. And his suggestion is a main color and then 10 contrasting colors. And I went ahead and used 15 because this has this right here ended with the 15th color. So this is all 15 colors. It helps if I show I mean, you can see them better here, but this is all 15 contrast colors right there. That's the honeycombs. So now I'm going to start with this one here, and whenever I come back, it'll just be a longer run of that color. Well, some of these, like this one here, and I believe this one, are mini skeins. So I may get 2 repeats out of it depending on how much I use. But I won't be able to get more than 2, possibly 3, depending on how wide the shawl is by the time I get back to that color. I may or may not be able to get it finished. Hopefully I will, because I'm gonna try to weigh the mini skeins and see if if I do a round, if I weigh it and then I do the next round with it and see how much it uses. As long as I have double that amount, I could do another round. If I don't have double what it used, then I'm just going to take it out of the rotation. That's what I'm doing. Next is my brilliant brickwork. I wanted to get some of this done. I started it on August the 3rd. It's by Amy Crumpton. You can actually do it with like Advent or up to 24 different contrast colors and use a main color. The white is the main color in this one, and in mine that's using a purple. I have both sides done now. It's going to be really hard to show because it's on the needles. This is side 1. I have 3 contrasting colors. This is side 2. It's exactly the same. You can mix it up however you want to do it. And I've just started putting them together. And I introduced a 4th color in the stripe. So if I can hold it right, it'll have a triangle in the middle holding the 2 together. Very interesting construction, easy to follow. You can kind of see it there. It's going to be triangled out and it's going to be a big rectangle. I'm not good with scarves. My intent is to make 2 of these and sew them together to make a semi-blanket, or sort of a blanket. My thing is the mint color that I have is hand dyed by myself, and I'm not going to have enough of it to do a whole nother side. So I introduced this color in, which has some teal speckles in it. And it's kind of, what do they call it? The stellina or the tinsel or what? I think it's the stellina. It's got the sparkle color and the teal. And I think it goes well with that right there, the mint that I colored. And so I'm putting it on the one side in the side triangle here, because it's like a big space, and then you use the other colors to go down. And this one I'm gonna put on the other one in the middle triangle space and then do the wrap out of this. But those are all Cascade yarns. This is Always Be Kind yarn in fingering, and it's the zebra sock. I'll hold that up. Always Be Kind and the zebra sock. And then my main color is this. Wow, that came undone. Cascade 220 fingering. That's in color 1024, which is something another rose. I looked it up, but I didn't write it down. This other purple right here is the Cascade Heritage color 5617. And then, as I said, this was hand dyed by me. And then this one had no label with it. I've had it in stash for a while. I do know it's a sock yarn because I started to make socks out of it on a couple of occasions, and it never would tell me what it wanted to be, so I didn't like any of them. Excuse me, my pattern fell out of the basket. What else do I have? I have, and that was started August 3rd. I haven't really been doing a whole lot with it. Oh, I am working. It's taken me a while to do this pair of socks. Not because of the colors, not because of the pattern, because the pattern is just kind of like me doing my own thing. But I had this pair of socks I kept on my desk at work during the week. And I would work on them anytime I had a meeting or training. We do a lot of trainings and we do a lot of meetings. So every time I have a meeting, I work on the socks. These are Legacy Fiber Arts. It's a Practical Magic sock set. This is the main color. This is the contrast color. It's a micro sock kit out of steel toes, 4-ply fingering, 75/25 merino nylon, the Practical Magic colorway. I started these on July the 27th. I'm doing a 1x1 rib for 20 rounds. I did a 40 round leg. As you can see here from my markers, each marker is 10 rounds. 10, 20, 30, 40. I did a shadow wrap heel. That's my very first shadow wrap heel. Easy, simple. I did get a hole in mine, but then again, I did change it to a different color. So that's the only place I got a hole. I used the Earthtones Girls Shadow Wrap Heel tutorial. And then I just did my regular 60 round for the foot is what I normally do. And I had been doing 5 rounds in the toe color and then doing my toe. Here lately I'm doing 65 rounds in the main color and then doing my toe. And this is just a standard toe, wedge toe, where I do a decrease every other round. I do slip, slip, knit, knit 2 together on both sides every other round until I get to 14 stitches, and then I catch knit together. I used to do a 12 stitch on each needle before I Kitchenered, and I kind of feel like that's too narrow for my toes, so I went to a 14. But the reason that this took so long is I had knit my leg, had it all done. I had done a heel flap and gusset with the contrast color. And when I did my heel flap and I came back and I picked up stitches to do the gusset, something just did not kick in. I didn't do my decreases. I don't know why. So I had so many stitches and I was 40 rounds into the foot before I looked at it and I was like, well, let's go back. I was in a meeting. I had finished the excuse me. I had finished the heel flap. I'd picked up the stitches. I started knitting in the round and I kind of got engrossed in the meeting and I wasn't paying attention and I just started knitting in the round. And I looked at it, I was like, man, this is a big sock. But it's okay. It's just me. You know, I'm just, it was one of those meetings that was just like, no. I picked it up and looked at it the next day and I was like, this is a big sock. I brought it home. I didn't work on it on the weekend. I took it back on last Monday. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is a big sock. And I get to looking at it and I did not do any of my decreases from my heel flap and gusset. I'm like, why? I had almost as many stitches on the back as I did for the whole sock. Anyway, short story long, I had 40 rounds of the foot done. I had to go back all the way back down and pick it up again. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to do an afterthought heel. I'll just take it back to where I want the heel, or back to where the heel is, take the heel out, pick up my stitches again, just put in markers and just forget it. And then I watched Big Sis Little Bro, and he was doing his peacock socks from, I think it's West Yorkshire Knitters. I can't remember. Anyway, he had said that he did the shadow wrap heel and it was very simple and he used the Earthtone Girls tutorial. So I looked it up and so I did the shadow wrap heel and I was like, oh my gosh, all you're doing is going up one side and coming back down the other side and your heel is done. How simple can that be? So hopefully they fit well. That's my only thing, is me finding the fit, because I have a larger instep, so I'm hoping that they fit well. We'll see. But that is sock 1. They've been on the needles since the 27th of July, so it's been over a month for this pair of socks. And I just picked up this morning to start the next cuff, because I do feel like when I get this going in the round that it'll be a good walking knit. It's taken me over a month anyway, so why not make it my walking knit? It's my work knit. Now it's going to be my work walking knit. And I am just full of hot air today because I am just rambling on. But again, that's not really a sock pattern. I just do my socks. I'll do whatever cuff I want to do. Usually it's a 2x2. I'm trying the 1x1 rib. Normally I do anywhere from 10 to 15 rounds on my rib, and then I go into my leg. Here lately I'm making some shorter socks. I don't know why. I just fancy making shorter socks, so it's just plain stockinette knitting for however many rounds I want to do. But my usual sock is a 2x2 rib, 64 stitch, 60 round leg, afterthought heel, 65 round foot, and a wedge toe. I've been trying some different toes. I'm trying some different heels. I really like Bakery Bears. I'm on their Patreon, and she did the lemon top socks that I made. And she does a French heel flap and turn, and I like that. That's what I was trying to do with these, and I didn't do it right. And an umbrella toe. I liked the umbrella toe. I liked the heel on those. I just really like the ability to have that mindless sock. And that's what got me hung up on these. But honestly, after doing that shadow wrap, it's just increasing and decreasing like you are with the wedge toe. So it's kind of mindless in a way. I'm just not having to pick it up afterwards to do it. So I'm gonna try that a couple more times and see how I like it. What else do I have? I don't have anything else to show you on my needles that I've actually actively been working on. I did start watercolor a little bit. I have played with some colors. This is just me taking a piece of watercolor paper, and I have a skin tone palette, and I just, excuse me, am such a beginner at watercolor that I was trying to figure out how much water to put with the color to get a saturation that I wanted, or how much water I would need. And this right here is thick enough that I do cross stitch as well, and I make my own what they call them, floss drops. I have punches that I do like a tag punch and put holes in it, and then I just hang the floss off of it on like a binder ring. So I'll turn that into that. Same thing with this card. I glued 2 pieces of paper together. Scrapbook paper. That'll be it's not like as heavy as a cardboard, but it's heavier than paper. It's kind of like a really heavy cardstock. What else am I doing? What's happening in your world? Let's sit back and talk a minute. We're 45 minutes in. I usually have a little bit longer of episodes. They're usually about an hour. I'm gonna try to get off of here pretty quick. It's kind of hot in my craft room in the afternoons. Haven't been using it so much in the summer. I use it more in the winter time because of the fact that it's so hot in here, because the sun comes straight in. I've said it before, I like the warmth of summer, but I don't like summers because it gets entirely too hot for me. So if we're out and about, I can't seem to stay cool enough anymore. I tell everybody lately I can put more clothes on to get warm. I can't take enough clothes off to get cool enough. So that's just it. I really am not enjoying summers anymore. When I was younger, I used to enjoy summer. Now I don't, because when I get a hot flash and it's 100 degrees outside, it's torture for me. I mean, clearly torture for me. Um, what was I gonna say? Uh, sorry. Oh, I was watching podcasts yesterday. Um, I watched a lot of my podcasts over the weekend, and it seems like in the last week and a half, well, in the past 2 weeks since I talked to you last, a lot of podcasts or people on YouTube are talking about how knitting podcasts are dying out. Um, I have a feeling that a lot of it is around content and the fact that Laura Penrose just kind of. I watched that episode. She did not say she was going to stop doing podcast or knitting update type things. She said she was going to do it in a different way and she wasn't going to feel pressured. And she's doing more of a weekly vlog. So she's sharing more about her health and her food and her not really her family, but more about her everyday life as well as what she's knitting, so that she doesn't get dragged down in always work type things. And I understand that there's just really no fun left when you're doing it constantly. Um, a lot of the podcasters that I watch, they do edit their podcast. So they sit here for, I don't know, I just sit here and talk and show what I'm doing and talk nonsense and ramble and vent and go off on tangents. And mine can be up to an hour long. So just think about when these people are sitting here and they're trying to make these perfect podcasts for us to watch. How long are they actually sitting and talking to a camera or a computer and showing their things? And then they go and sit down and they spend all that time editing. And then you have to factor in you're actually trying to knit things, and you have families and you have jobs and you're doing things. I mean, when do we say that too much is too much? I get where they're going. I sit here and talk to you because I don't have anyone to sit and talk to about my knitting. I don't have knitting group. I don't have small kids in the home. All of my children are grown. They're all out of the home. I don't have a partner who's like right here with everything that I do. He has his own things. I have my own things. We're happy. And I have a 9 to 5. And yes, if you ask me what I'm doing on any given day, I come home from work, I eat my dinner, I sit down, I watch some YouTube, I knit, I relax, I grab a shower, I go to bed. I only have, from the time I get home in the evening until the time I go to bed, maybe 2.5 to 3 hours. So yes, whenever you're talking to me, I'm knitting. On the weekends, I have 3 days. I have these things planned out where usually I'm running errands on the first day off, and then I'm just if we go do anything, it's in those 3 days. So it's kind of packed with that. But this weekend, last weekend, we did nothing, and I just got to relax. I did run my errands on my first day, um, but all I did was sit and watch Midsummer Murders and knit. So I'm happy. I did bake chocolate chip cookies. I made some caramel, um, and just doing. So at any point, I guess what I'm trying to say, I knit what makes me happy. I knit at a pace that makes me happy. I don't knit to make things just to be making things to be able to show on here. So I'm not going to kill myself making things. Um, I'm not going to have 10 or 15 different finished items to show. I may have 10 or 15 different whips because I can't seem to finish one thing before I start another one, or I get bored with everything that I have and then I start something else and then I'm bored with that. So I don't know if that brilliant brickwork wrap is going to turn into a blanket like I'm thinking about, but it's going to be used as a wrap until I decide if that's what's going to happen. Um, just little things. So, a lot, I do have a fair amount of followers, and I just want you to know that I'm doing this because I want to be. I'm doing it for me, and then I'm doing it for you. But I'm not going to break my back to be making and making and making just so you have something to see. Um, I'm just like everybody else. I get influenced. I see patterns on YouTube. I see patterns on Instagram. I can be scrolling on Ravelry and see a pattern that I like. And yes, it's like the ranunculus. I waited how many years before I made one, and then I finally made one because I saw all these people making them in ways that I would want to wear it. So that made me want to make it. At no time am I going to show you anything and expect you to go run by the pattern or run by the yarn or run and do this or run and do that. If it's going to make you happy and you want to do it, then by means do it. I can honestly say I get influenced quite often, and it irritates me because I really try to stop, but I don't. But that's that, and that's my 10 minutes of ramble. The projects that I've shown you today are projects that are bringing me joy and that I'm really enjoying sitting and watching my British TV show, as my partner says, and knitting and drinking my coffee or my Sprite or whatever it is that I'm drinking, and getting up and walking around and doing this and doing that. I'm enjoying myself and it makes me happy. And I haven't went for a walk for 4 days, which I know is going to be horrible on me tomorrow because I'm going to feel like I need to. But quite frankly, I've been too hot. So I just want to say, enjoy what you do, whatever it is. If it's learning how to watercolor, if it's sewing, if it's crochet, knit, it doesn't matter. Enjoy it. Do what makes you happy. and take note of what you do every day at the end of the day on what you did that makes you happy. I'm doing a mindfulness thing every day. Do one thing that makes you happy. Write that down in a notebook. What was that one thing? I knit. I watched Midsummer Murders. I drank a cup of coffee. I made caramel for my coffee. I made my coffee creamer. That was today. Um, One thing that you appreciate about someone, and one thing that you accomplished for that day. Those are the three things that I'm writing down in my journal, um, so that I remember. It makes me think about what I did that day. And it doesn't have to be written down that day. You can do it the next morning. I journal in the mornings. Um, but I can I can honestly stop and think about what I did. I can say I did absolutely nothing, but then whenever I stop and think about it, oh, I worked on my painter shawl, or I made caramel for myself, or I baked chocolate chip cookies. That made me happy yesterday, baking chocolate chip cookies and sitting with, I don't know, your pet on your lap, or going for a walk, or maybe you went and grabbed a coffee and went window shopping, or went to a bookstore and looked at books. Did you do something that made you happy? That's all that matters. Look at the good stuff, because nowadays we need that. Okay, rant over. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I hope I didn't depress anybody or make anybody mad. And just enjoy what you do. I am. That's why I'm doing this. So until next time, in 2 weeks, enjoy your days, take time for yourself, and have fun making. Bye.